Thank you, Alan, for counting us in. My name is Stephen David Elliot. I am the founder of Rockstar Connect with my wife, Sher Elliot, who is the producer of this show, along with Alan, who is out in the Philippines right now. Alan, how is it in the Philippines?
Places are starting to open up, apart from the metro, which locked down a bit more. So that's that bad thing in a way, and a good thing
Well,
as well.
I guarantee you it's probably your fault. Do it differently because you're screwing it up for everyone else. This 3 Martini lunch. We talk about the topics of the day that influence entrepreneurs with some of the best panelists in the world. I really appreciate the hundreds of hours that our panelists have put into this program, and they must enjoy it a little bit because they do come back. Arline, your hair looks great. I've never seen it straight back like that, and I like your new filming space. It's really fantastic. Barbara, it's been so long since we've seen you.
Oh, good to be back.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Hey, so we use the success is contagious model for this particular program. And what that allows us to do is give structure to what would normally be chaos. We share our knowledge and our information with those people that are watching all over Facebook in order to tell you you're not alone. We're in this with you. We go through the same problems. We have the same trials and tribulations, and we have the same success. So this week, we're going to jump right in with a pretty, topical question. Has anybody been reading in the newspaper the way the real estate market has been around the United States? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There was a Wall Street Journal article yesterday that actually says that there are more real estate agents today than there are properties for sale. Let that sink in. There are more real estate agents than there are property for sale. That does a lot in the market. Typically in real estate, like in any business, it's the 80-20 rule. Mark, hey, Mark, what's the 80-20 rule? Can you explain that for the listeners?
The 80-20 rule means 80% won't, 20% will.
20% will. So the 20% right now are doing extremely well in real estate, and the 80% are going, what the hell's going on? Am I even in real estate? Because they're not getting listings. The inventory is so low. I had a very, very good year last year. I have already equaled that amount this year, and it's March. Okay, so let that sink in. I've already done as much business in 2 months as I did in 12 months last year, and last year was my second best year in business. So this year will definitely be the best year. But this real estate thing, it affects every entrepreneur, because one of the biggest investments that entrepreneurs make after investing in their business is usually in the place that they live. In addition to that, your clients own homes, and they may be in industries that are related to real estate, so they're getting a little bit of that boom too. If you're in marketing, you probably have agents that now can afford to utilize you. You have lenders that are reaching out to you, vendors that serve homeowners like inspectors and home services, general contractors that are building it. If you are a homeowner, you're probably experiencing a little sticker shock when you want to go build that deck in your backyard, because the lumber to build your deck is almost more than what you paid for your house. So what we're going to do today for our question is, the question of the day is, how is the current real estate market affecting you personally? And how is it affecting your business? And what is your crystal ball projections for the rest of the year? Because we are at the beginning of the year. Why don't we start this off with, you're all in booming markets. I mean, that's sort of crazy. You're all in phenomenal markets. But Barbara, it's been a while, so why don't you give yourself a quick introduction, who you are and what you do, and then we'll jump into the question of the week.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm an organizing and productivity consultant. I work specifically with businesses to help them put systems in place so that everyone can accomplish their work and enjoy their lives. I was just hired by a company last week who said their employees were disorganized, but not to my surprise, it wasn't the employee problem, it was the systems problem within the whole company. So that's what I'm about. And this real estate market is fabulous for us in terms of residential. We do a lot with paper and information, and that's what people's biggest problems. People can't get their home ready for sale because they got paper all over. And so we're really good at helping them do that. So it's a great time for us. Business is better for us this year than ever in my 40 years in business. That's
fantastic, despite COVID or anything else.
Yep.
So do you work with a lot of people in that industry, in real estate and lending, helping people getting their home prepared as well?
No, just that sometimes when people complain about, that they have clutter, and clutter that people often have is paper clutter. That's the number one. In fact, I just talked to one of the top residential organizing companies in the whole United States. And she said, I do not touch paper. I do everything else, but I don't touch paper. So I said, well, this is a collaboration because we don't do anything but paper and digital. We just released a new book, Taming the Digital Tiger, Gmail edition. So if you're struggling with Gmail, we've got a new resource for you.
That's fantastic. I mean, if you were to look at everyone, as we go around, look at how many emails are in your email. And I'm going to ask you how many. And please be truthful. Don't be embarrassed. Let me know how many emails are in your email box. We can start off with that. And I have 425,267 emails in my email box.
Is this, do you want like Gmail numbers, Yahoo numbers, a combo number?
I have like 6 email inboxes.
I know.
iPhone will probably give you your full amount on the top, but if you only have one, you can share that. My Yahoo has 412,614. I didn't get more than 10 emails, the whole company. But I have 412,614 of them.
I'm having heart palpitations over here. Like I can't even.
So in real estate, it's a little bit different. You have to keep a paper trail, a digital paper trail at least. So we save everything so that we can go back to it and find it and reference it, because a client will ask you about a conversation from 10 years ago, and literally you need to have it.
So the question is, can you find it? That's the real issue. And there's so many people who keep it all.
It could be better organized, but I'm very good at finding it. But that's only because my memory is very good. I can remember the keywords that were in those emails and find them. If I did not have that, it would be a disaster, because I know I have the email and I remember the conversation. Now, I may play off that I'm, a little bit senile and slow sometimes, but that's just to give me advantage in negotiation. It's not a reality. My wife will tell you I'm very sharp in that regard. Sarah is very much into systems, and I know that this weekend she was clearing out a ton of paper. We gained an entire room with the paper that she got rid of. So let's jump into the meat of it. Do we have any? Andrew, are you available?
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, real estate agent. Tell us what it's about. What's going on out there in the world? How's it affecting you personally? How is it affecting your clients and your colleagues?
Wilmington's slowly starting to open back up. I'm actually down here near Mark.
I think when you turn your head, we lose you. It's almost like a disconnect. For now, why don't you mute him and text him that we're not hearing him, and we'll go over to Mark Sher. Alan, if you could please mute Andrew.
So the real estate market's very interesting in Florida now. Lots of folks are moving here. We've always had folks coming from the Northeast. What's very interesting is we're seeing massive numbers of people from California now, because they're just saying, we give up. They're tired of the state income taxes. People are coming here because our schools are open, all that good stuff. But here's something that's really unique. I live in downtown Miami in an area called Brickell Avenue. And Brickell is it's the most cosmopolitan part of Miami, put it to you that way. What was fascinating was from September to the end of January, condos and apartments, it was insane. It's like an apartment would be listed either for rent or for sale, and literally within 24 hours, it was gone. End of January, the switch turned off. People that were asking $6,000-$7,000 a month for 1-bedroom units that was New York prices now can't get $3,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So what happened was, and I've talked to a couple of people in the real estate world, is that especially people coming from the Northeast that were used to living, let's say in New York City, New York started opening back up, and they realized that I live in Miami, I love it, but people who come from the Northeast go, it's a cultural desert. There's no theater, there's no museums, there's no this, there's no that. So now it's back to normal or a little bit below normal. However, single family homes in the residential communities are still on fire. So
that's good to know, because really South Florida is a bellwether for the rest of the United States as far as real estate. Whichever way South Florida goes is the way the rest of the country goes.
I will share one interesting thing with everybody. Anyone who's thinking about buying towels or terry cloth bathrobes, get them ASAP. I have a client who does all the manufacturing for Canon towels in South America. And we were talking last week, a container of cotton that used to cost them $1,800 is now over $10,000. They buy most of their cotton from Turkey and Egypt. Because of COVID, they weren't farming and harvesting, so towels are going to get insanely expensive in the next 3 to 6 months. So if you're thinking about buying them, buy them now.
That's pretty cool too. And actually, if you do want towels, you can, reach out to Mark. He has a partner, Bill Curtis, that owns like a custom towel company, and they make the massive like sheet towels that you can put your business name on, or your sports team. And they make great gifts. I mean, you can never have too many beach towels, because usually you look in right before you're going to the beach, you look in your linen closet and you don't even have them anymore because you left them wherever you brought them.
Yep, that's true. But that's it for the real estate market here. And for us, the COVID situation, I hate to say it, has been increased our sales pretty much because, everyone is really concerned about running out of money. And what we do is, our tagline is, we teach small businesses how to self-finance. Individuals typically how to get out of debt in 9 years or so, including mortgages, student loans, car loans, boat loans, all of your consumer credit, without spending a penny more than you're spending now. And we do that by teaching people how to use specially designed accumulation-focused life insurance contracts to become their own bank. And we've had quite a number of clients call us up and say, hey, when all my friends were going crazy, what am I going to do? I just called up my bank and I said, I need money. And later that week, there was a check in the mail. If I needed it right away, the next day, I had to pay $25, but it was wired into my account. So that's something for us that's very good. And because it's a life insurance backed product, to me, a lot of people look at life insurance as death insurance. We use it as a financial vehicle while you're alive, because it has some very unique characteristics that no other financial vehicle has. And people were calling up saying, hey, I'm really worried. Can I get life insurance? What if something happens to me? So, but that's not really what we do. It's more the financial side of it. But we got, the free crumbs that fell off the people who were worried about, needing life insurance for death insurance. Well, that's my story for today.
It's, as far as people moving to Florida, a lot of people are moving out of Florida. We have a lot of people moving from South Florida up here to North Carolina. I've moved up a few in the last couple months.
Yep.
Because they get a lot for their money, but the prices are going up here. I just sold a shack, basically. I mean, in a nice neighborhood, but a shack backing up to the railroad tracks for $467 a square foot. That sounds more like New York or Brickell prices.
No, Brickell, it's $1,000 a square foot now.
$1,000 a square foot. If you ever get the opportunity to go down to South Florida, rather than doing the typical Miami Beach thing, check out Brickell and Key Biscayne.
Yeah.
And you will see two of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. Hear every language spoken imaginable, from Russian, Chinese, Portuguese, Spanish. and others we don't even know, right?
Well, yeah, we have a very large French and German community, as well as in North Miami. It's pretty much all Eastern European or former Soviet Union, whether they're from the Ukraine, Russia, Latvia. I mean, it's insane.
It's basically Minsk and Odessa on the east coast of Florida. If you're ever in South Florida, take an opportunity, call Mark Sher. He'll drop his information there. Most likely grab a cup of coffee with you during his business day. Tell you a little bit about South Florida and what he does to help people get out of debt and stay out of debt for life. Andrew Pierce, do we have you back now? Can we hear you? So you're saying Wilmington. Okay, can we unmute him?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so Wilmington is opening back up. That's what we last heard, and then you froze.
Yeah, and it's just like you were saying in Raleigh. Sales prices are crazy. A lot of things aren't coming in for, to meet up with the appraisal, and we have to get creative on the funding. It's just wow.
I just put under contract 2 minutes before we get on this call a $650,000 house to someone relocating from Miami that's never been to Raleigh, North Carolina, and they have not seen the house.
Yeah, I mean, my sister and brother-in-law are moving to Greensboro from California. 10 grand due diligence, sight unseen.
It's the way it is right now, and it's sort of because of the weird laws we have here about how you can see a house. They really have to correct that because the things that we have in place to protect buyers are actually hurting buyers right now.
Yeah, incredibly.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's repeating all over the country. We don't have any California people on here today. I would love to hear what's going on there. But Jennifer, you're in Myrtle Beach, a great place for first homes, but also really for second homes and vacation homes. Are you getting a lot of businesses relocating from outside of your area that are advertising and working with you?
Well, the way it is right now is I'm working with business owners that have already established themselves in South Carolina, and most of them, if not all of them, are from up north. Because that's how they made the money in order to have the capital to create the business down here. And then I've also pivoted due to COVID because a lot of the restaurants were hurt in this area. So to working with people outside of South Carolina and even outside this country too, with, providing other services such as graphic design and consulting, et cetera. Because, there's people who provide professional services that have more income than they make, because a lot of people who who work in South Carolina don't make enough really to pay for advertising. That's what I found. Yeah.
Well, I would tell you in Myrtle Beach, what you do see amongst the people that come from the north to stay there's a lot of small business owners. And, they have a lot of wealth too. You can see it in their vehicles and how they party, and in Myrtle Beach is party central. You're like no mask area now, right?
Yeah, I just got back from a scenic drive from Ocean Boulevard. For those of you who are not familiar, that's the main major street that is parallel along the big hotels and the beach, etc. And it seems like about 80% of people were not wearing masks, or they were holding them in their hands. So it takes a lot for people to be convinced around here to even wear it at all.
It's not quite like Miami Beach, Florida, where they're rioting now, or whatever's going on in Miami Beach, Florida. It's still hard to know what's going on in the rest of the United States. It just really is. You don't know what's going on until you see it yourself. But I am dying to go down to South Carolina and visit Katie and you, because we went down there like in November, and what a great place Myrtle Beach is. Especially we were in the North Beach section of Myrtle Beach, and of course, Charleston is a favorite of ours. Speaking of Charleston, what's going on there, Katie? Did you have a good event with your father?
I did. My dad's book signing was nice. And, the governor said, we don't need masks and stuff anymore, but our mayor and every business in Charleston's like, yes, we do. So it's still the same. I mean, outside they'll give some mask tickets downtown. Most people, I mean, some people have their masks on outside, but I went to Myrtle Beach for my birthday last weekend, or the weekend of the 13th. And it was the same there as it is here. Like, some people have them on outside, some don't. I mean, if I'm outside, I don't usually wear mine, but inside, we went to Top Golf and to Medieval Times, and everyone had their mask on when they were walking around. And so it felt safe and normal. So I'm glad, that they're still requiring it, even though the governor was like, let's just open it back up. But I mean, overall, it's the same here as it's been since last June, really. I mean, they said restaurants can be at 100% capacity, and they moved the bar closing time from 11 to 2. But not every restaurant has chosen to go back to 100% capacity. There's some are still doing like more spaced out. I'm choosing not to go to the jam-packed bars until 2. I do get my first COVID vaccine today. So come, after April 20th, when I have my second, then I will be at the jam-packed bars, but not until then.
Well, I mean, some places probably have their niche. They may keep it, spread out if that's what their clients like.
April 27th, Katie. It's a week after your second shot that you're at full.
Right. I know. I heard it was. I heard it was 2 weeks after whatever it is. You get what I'm saying. Like,
the Passover holiday is next week, and there's an elderly woman that we've adopted over the years that usually spends Passover with us. And if she doesn't get invited, I actually will get a call from her saying, "Where is my invitation?" I hadn't heard from her, and I called her, and she had her 2 shots already, but she's happy where she is. She said, "I'll skip Passover this year. I don't know if I'm going to any more of them." Because I like where I am. People are getting, used to whatever their situation is, I guess. As far as real estate, how is real estate impacting you? I know currently you rent, right? You don't own your place yet?
I rent, yeah.
So are you looking to get a place?
No.
No, because
I can't afford, I literally check to paycheck. If my dishwasher breaks or my air goes out, like I can't afford, I need to call my landlord and say, come fix it. I can't afford to replace it. And I would just not be, and the only place I could afford is I'm not going to buy a popcorn ceiling place and scrape anything off. I'm not doing that myself. I want a place that's the way I want it when I buy it. And so I'm just going to wait till I get to that point.
Okay. Well, we wish you all the luck, and everyone can make more donations to her not-for-profit so she could actually raise her salary a little bit too.
Well, I'm actually combining with my online course. I'm actually combining courses with this guy in the UK, and he has a much higher level stuff, and mine's more like first year. So we're combining into 3 different modules, so we can literally take on anybody at any phase in their nonprofit journey. And I think that's going to really bring in a lot more clients for me. So I'm really excited about that.
Terrific. And if you could just put your information there so people can know about that course and how they can learn to run their own not-for-profit.
Yep.
Clint, how is real estate impacting you or your family or your business or business associates?
Well, first thing is I have 457 unread emails in my Gmail. My Yahoo is completely clean because I hate the little red alert. When it goes off, I feel like I have to get rid of it and get rid of that message. So my business actually really benefits from real estate being as good as it is, because those are one of the things that I've been going after, because they're printing a lot more or doing things digitally a lot more, like e-sign and all this other stuff. And so I actually just signed 3 different real estate companies in the last week. One of them has 3 offices. And so they're printing a lot more because they're selling a lot more. And so it's definitely impacting my business a lot in a positive way on that end. And personally, not much, really. It will probably in a few years, maybe a little less than that, depending. But we're actually getting our house painted this week. So that's pretty exciting.
Well, I'll tell you, it gets really exciting, the real estate market, because Sarah and I are always showing properties. That's a good thing and that's a bad thing. It's good for our clients, but it's bad for us because almost every house that we see that we like, we want to buy.
Yeah.
And we have to talk ourselves off the cliff from going and buying that house.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be selling 1 or 2 houses in the next couple of years. So.
I mean, you don't want to impulse shop for houses.
Right.
I mean, shoes are one thing, you know, but houses are something altogether different.
Well, we wanna move to like have a place at the beach and a place in the mountains and kind of skip back and forth. That's the ultimate goal, anyway.
Well, let's see if we can help you achieve that. Domenic. Yeah. Domenic is in financial services. How has the real estate market been impacting you and your clients?
You know, it hasn't changed things nearly as much as the fluctuations in the financial markets over the past year and the fears that individuals have over their potential health and mortality. You know, maybe there's been a slight downtick since there's been less changing of hands of properties because there've been less listings. But to be honest with you, that I can't attribute the increases in my business to that. You know, it's more or less been driven by COVID this year because, you know, people are concerned about making sure that their families are taken care of. Like Mark said, right? It's you know, life insurance is something that people suddenly become concerned about when everything in the news media is driven by, you know, numbers of fatalities and people hearing about friends and loved ones that are catching this and they don't really know what's going on with, you know, how contagious is it and how impactful is it for most people to get. So, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, additional purchasing of life insurance for that. And then people are wanting some additional protections. They're wanting to be able to grow their money outside of structures in securities. So I've been helping a lot of my clients with that as well.
That's great. And as far as inventory, you know, we hear about the low inventory. There's low inventory on the MLS.
Yes.
But the reality is there's a lot of inventory out there.
Sure, it's just not getting listed.
It gets listed, but it takes a certain technique. This is when real estate agents can actually prove their value. So there's 80% of agents out there going, I look on the MLS, there's no listings. The other 20% are getting on the phone and calling people and saying, I know someone who would like to buy your home.
Yeah, that's true.
And those people didn't even know that anybody wanted to buy their home. And the house gets sold before it even gets into the MLS.
You know, one interesting thing I think that's going to impact the way we're all doing business going forward in the future is just the change in the administration, right? So there's going to be change in capital gains tax laws that are coming up here in the future. There will be additional increases in the top end of the tax bracket. So a lot of my clients are concerned with how do I preserve the capital that I've acquired over the past few years and avoid paying an increase in income taxes. So I'm having conversations like that, and I'm sure Stephen, you are as well with you know, clients that are sitting on any kind of 1031 money right now. They're wanting to move that back into investments before you know, the capital gains rate actually goes up.
We had a big change, you know, this week in real estate. So on investment properties now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac has added 3 points to get 3 points onto the cost of the home, which changes things greatly. And the reason why they're doing that is they're trying to slow investors down from buying properties. So there's more properties available for other people
to
purchase property. But unfortunately, when the government starts interfering with who purchases things, it could have an adverse effect. My question is, so you have some clients, you were going to say something. I'm sorry, Don.
I was just going to say that's what makes the be your own bank scenario that Mark was talking about earlier so important, is you don't have to worry about the points on your interest rate for buying real estate. In fact, a combination of well-structured whole life insurance contracts and real estate investment, they make a very, very powerful tandem for your portfolio.
That's an excellent observation. I mean, that's where you really see, real estate agents working with people in financial services, with insurance agents, with lenders, etc., to find out how they can help their client. So I have a client who's relocating, and I found a product for her. She happens to be a vet. There was one bank in the U.S. that will do 0% financing up to $750,000 for veterinarians with no PMI. Well, that's huge. That's enormous. And over 750, they'll do they only charge 5%, and over 1.2 million, they only charge 10% down. So, and better interest rates than you and I get. But that's something for those of you that are watching to look into. There are a lot of loan products that are for specific industries. So there are loan products for chiropractors and pilots and nurses and physicians that will allow you to keep more of your money on the side so you can make investments with people like Mark and Domenic in your future, so that you're not stuck with the bank. It gives you other opportunities to create and protect wealth.
Yeah, you also don't lose the opportunity cost, which is the interest that you're paying in the bank. If you're doing it yourself, any interest that you pay, you're paying right back into your own account, as opposed to losing it to the bank and never seeing it again.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to keep in mind, and tell me if I'm wrong here, this has always been my philosophy. When you don't need money, everybody wants to give you money. But when you need money, nobody wants to give you money, especially banks. So you want to prevent that situation. So if you do have the opportunity, and you need to speak to your financial advisor, your trusted financial advisor, real estate agents, we don't even need to have a high school diploma to get a real estate license. But, try to keep as much money on the side so that you can do things to invest for your future, rather than giving that money to the bank to guarantee that they're profitable, which is what you're doing when you're putting a down payment down, or you're paying points to get a lower interest rate. Moving on, Jenny Midgley, and then we'll come to Arline and Katia. If you don't mind, we're going to end with you since you haven't been on in a while, so you can have final word. Go for it, Jenny. How many real estate agents are knocking on your door right now?
A lot, actually. It's one of my. I have an EXP realtor that is like, if I could take my ideal client and put her in a box and wrap her with a bow, it would be Jamie Chulak. And because she's like, her social media game is on point, and I have people contacting me all over the triangle saying, I hear you do Jamie's photographs. I want to be Jamie. And I'm like, all right, well, we're going to make you, but I understand what you're trying to tell me. So we work on that. But it's super fun. I got to go to, and they're busy, like they're all busy, but I get to go take them to pretty cool places. I have a client that we are going around to the different model homes that, she's really active, and she's got connections with the builders. If anybody is looking in Wendell Falls, the homes by Dickerson are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If you haven't been there, just go look at the house. Just go look at the model houses.
So pretty. Alan has never been to Raleigh, North Carolina. He's never been to North Carolina. I don't think he's been to the US. I'm not sure. But he is making hundreds of videos for us about Raleigh, North Carolina, and North Carolina in general. He's taking, because we have a lot of video, because I've been selling property for over a decade, and I was an early adapter with a professional photos and videos. I have all that in our stock photos, and he's doing some great stuff. As far as I saw a product I thought you'd be interested to, that you might want to look at. It's called Studio, Studeo. They don't spell it in a traditional way, but it helps people like you, like agencies like you, display real estate agents in a really great way with their product. So basically, you can create a digital video. I'm sorry, what, Andrew?
About a week ago.
You had a meeting with them? It sounds sort of like Charlie, the adults on Charlie Brown, or our dog when he's
Domenic because he's a robot.
yeah, like sort of like a horn. Andrew, drop it into the chat because we're not hearing you. Drop it into the chat. Okay, Arline, you're in Florida. Pretty crazy real estate market there. You help businesses and not-for-profits get sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
How is the real estate market impacting you, this crazy market, with you and your clients?
Well, not so much me and my clients, but my husband has just finished building his dream garage. And he said, you know, he remembers when he could get a board, I don't know what size, but like for $3 and something. And then went up to like $8. And now he said the same board is like $24, $25 for one, like it's either 8 foot long or 12 foot long. I can't remember which. And he's like, you know, he went and got 4 boards or planks or whatever you call it, and to build these doors in his dream garage. And it's over $100, you know? So
it's fun. I mean, there are memes on Facebook right now up in our area where people are saying, I'll trade 4 particle boards for your motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's not quite there yet, but you know, you get the point. I imagine we have a friend who's building furniture out of what do they call those things, Sarah? You get pallets.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of repurposing of wood. Maybe we're going to see a little more rustic features inside of homes in the future because it's just so costly to do the trim and everything else. I like it though. I like when people get creative, not only what they build their house out of, but where they live. There are parts of the country now that nobody would have bought a house that people are buying houses in now, like rural areas, an hour to 2 hours outside of the city. Yeah. Why not? You know, if you can work remotely and you can run right into the city, you know, get an Airbnb when you have to meet a client and work wherever you can. Work like Mark Sher from his boat in the Keys. Yeah. Mark, I ordered from, you know, Key Largo Fisheries down there. They've been around forever.
That's exactly where our boat is.
Okay, great. I ordered a whole bunch of stone crabs from them.
Okay.
They were fantastic. I mean, great. I mean, you couldn't go to a restaurant and pay what I paid for them.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Katia, you get to be the last person before we open up into the entire group.
Hey, so thank you so much for having me today. I've been busy transforming the world and putting my message out there and helping people with their vision. So I'm so grateful to be back here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. And you've been doing big things. You're helping, you know, women achieve that, you know, the 6-figure income that's elusive for so many people.
Yes, and that's exciting. I've been putting on conferences. My 4th book is on the way, and we really took the past 90 days with my husband. We did a huge leadership program, and you know, we put on big goals for the company and where we wanted to be and where we wanted our clients to be. So we are taking them on the journey with us, and it's been, I mean, this year has been already, we kind of like you, right? We have never been that successful in the matter of 2.5 months. So I can't wait.
I just sort of want to say, I mean, I wish I could just pause it right now and take off the rest of the year.
That's, you know, I don't work anymore the last week of the month. So the last week of the month, you know, I call it flex time. This is where I really get to be creative. This is where there's absolutely no work getting done. I am not touching my computer. I am reading. I'm spending time with God. I am spending time with my kids. I'm spending time with my friends, because the 3 other weeks, it helps me to be so incredibly focused. So basically for 3 weeks, I am totally focused. I give 100% of the time to what I'm doing, which is my work. And then the last week of the month. And now people, it's been like almost 6 months I've been doing that. And now people are getting on board. They know then if it's not the last week, then I don't get really together with them. So it's been pretty cool to see that.
I think that's a great topic for us to touch on another panel too. What are we doing differently now that's enriching our lives, taking that time for ourselves? When are we turning off and enjoying ourselves? My daughter is going to be starting college. Well, she's between two schools. She got University of Florida and New College in Florida, and she hasn't decided which one. She's happy with the weather at both, although it's probably a little better in Sarasota at New College. But her school, every January, they get the entire month of January off to do whatever they want in the month of January, as far as studies at New College.
Yeah, it brings something into you to have this creative time. You get to think, you get to, I don't know, you're exploring, more things. And I actually tell my client now, then either they take, 1 day off a week, or they take 1 week off. But pretty much every single client then who has done that now has been so much more productive. And we have seen a huge difference into their number at the end of the month. So, on my Outlook, I am very proud to say I have 12 email, and that's the only, everything come to my Outlook. So I have only 12 emails. I tackle them daily. So yeah.
I have someone manage my email, and I still have 424. They say, do not remove any of them. Read every single one of them for me so I don't miss them. Anyone who sends me an email, please send me a text. Because I do get over 100 emails a day. It's just absolutely a lot to handle. But what about real estate? You live in a beautiful home.
Yes. So do you know, people, I was laughing when you were talking, people are actually stopping by and ringing the doorbell. People are, like real estate agent, at least we have at least three a week who just stop by and say, hey, you willing to, of course they see the yard, and, we are like great property for everybody. So that's definitely been fun to witness, how much our house is being looked upon. But the way it has changed is, sometimes a lot of prospect clients are like, oh, Katia, I really want to work with you, but I can't afford you. And I always tell my client, it's never about the money, right? It's about the value that we offer. If you want something, you always find the money for what you want, right? So how can we make it happen? So one of the Webb, and I've helped my client, is like, wherever they live, it's like, hey, let's look at all the people who are moving to your area and who needs Airbnb, because with the real estate, there's a lot of Airbnb needs on the same time, or VRBO. So I tell them, I say, hey, if you are willing to put your house on Airbnb just for 2 or 3 days, or 2 weekends a month, and then you can go and work actually at the beach for a lot cheaper, then you actually can find the space. So we're being creative on helping our clients to be creative, but so many of my clients have never had their house on Airbnb, and when people from New York or from California are looking into buying anywhere, they need a place to stay for 2 or 3 days, and they're not so comfortable in hotels right now. So
also, those people that are coming from those other areas, they're willing to pay more for services because that's what they do where they are. So a lot of people have to look at what they're charging now and really reevaluate that. You need to speak with your colleagues and see how much they're charging for their services.
Yes.
We do that occasionally. We're just sort of astonished how expensive it is, but it really isn't. It's a going rate now. And you have to change your pricing accordingly. If you have something that you feel you can't do that, well, then you can keep it the same price, but scale your business.
That's right.
So that's what Katie's doing with her course, and Arlene's doing with her course. Barbara's doing with her book. Make it so, I'm going to keep my prices, but I'm going to be able to serve more people. And you can certainly do it remotely. But a really big investment right now, beyond Airbnb, is to purchase a home, even if it's not the home that you're going to live in. Maybe you're in an apartment now. To buy a home as your primary. Follow all the rules. You can't rent your house immediately from day one necessarily, but in a few months you could actually be renting that home out as a short-term rental for a very, very high price, because it happens that we can close simultaneously for someone and they can move in when they want, but sometimes that's a miracle and it's not going to happen. Well, I appreciate everyone that's coming on today. Does anyone want to have any last words on the conversation today? Did you take something from? Yes, go ahead, Arline.
I do. So we have a house, and we have a guest quarters and a little apartment next door where my husband has his office, but he's moving it to his new garage. So we've been going back and forth with thinking, do we do Airbnb? Do we do a temporary or a permanent rental? I mean, we are in the perfect spot for an Airbnb. We have acreage. We have a little lake in our backyard, private, but right across the street is Publix and the post office and so on. So it's the perfect spot. But I was just wondering if anybody here has done that, and how complicated or how much trouble is it?
I mean, it depends what your tolerance is for it, and I can certainly connect you to people that do Airbnbs.
Okay.
And give you their advice. I have not done Airbnbs, but I do stay in them, frequently. Katia?
Yep, we do Airbnb all the time. And it's in our main home. And this is how we can, every time we go somewhere, we go to Middle Beach or we have the luxury of being able to work from anywhere, right? And we rent our house. Our house is on VRBO, Airbnb. It's been 5 years now, and we love it. It's great. It totally affords all of our vacations. And then when we know, like we were just in Chicago, we flew there. The house was, we put the house on it. So you block and you make it available when you want. And we have one place, then this is our main home. So we have a one room then who's always locked, where we put things, valuable. But I would be very happy to talk to you, if you want to reach out to me.
Rockstar Connect, we're an event company, but we're also a marketing agency. And we just actually did, or Alan created a video for someone who had a Airbnb in Panama Beach.
Wow.
And they just got it, and they're not getting people to stay there because it was all they had were pictures, pictures of the property, and it's like any other property. And Alan created this incredible video for them, and we're going to start launching and helping them promote their property just like we would promote an event. So keep in mind, Rockstar Connect, we promote events. Events are about the hardest thing you can promote. Getting butts and seats is very difficult. So if you just want us to promote your business, that's super easy for us. And we have many ways to do that. We have partners like Jennifer and Jenny and others that can help you craft your brand and your message as well. And then Alan and his team will distribute it for you. So everyone, we're near the end of, does anyone have one more thing they'd like to say, Jenny? You have something to add?
Oh.
I can always have something to add.
Okay, go ahead. What would you like to add?
If you're local to the Raleigh area, we're doing a headshot day at the studio on Thursday. You can come in and get a quickie headshot.
And a quickie?
No, we don't. It's not that kind of photo.
Well, just clarify.
A headshot mini session. I'll put the link in the comments. But yeah, one of the things that I see most often is, people with a photo that's outdated, that's out of, y'all, I went to my husband and I was like, who is this person that you're friends with who popped up in my people you might know, who literally had an out of focus photograph as their profile photo? Please, for the love.
So chances are, if your phone doesn't recognize your face, you probably need a new phone.
Please don't do that. Come talk to me. I have very affordable options. It is not, an arm and a leg or unreasonable.
How much does the mini session cost?
$85 per photo.
Okay, guys, this is 2021. So don't hold her to this in 2022 or even at the end of 2021.
Or at the end of next month. I don't know. Right now, it's $85 per photo. Prices are good for Thursday.
Right, Thursday only. So keep that in mind. Yes, Mark.
For those of you who have the QR code on your backdrop, I just tried to see if they worked, and none of them worked. Is there something that I'm missing? Have people told you that they for sure work, or you don't know?
I mean, I think maybe your phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
My phone works.
I'm just kidding.
Every restaurant.
I don't know. I'm not a QR code guy. Dominic, do you know
neither.
anything about them?
Has anyone tried? Ask someone else to take their phone and see if those QR codes.
I'm trying on Dominic's, and I think it's too lit. It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
It won't register on it.
No,
I mean,
doesn't. Neither on Jenny, neither on Domenic for me.
Mine has worked every other time. I don't know. I don't know.
You might have to
That's
click on the
weird.
image and increase the size of the image.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what it is. It's not that they don't work. It's just maybe because they're so tiny. Then the phone is not.
Mine's blurry. It looks blurry in my phone, so it's not focusing on it because it's too small.
So imagine all these people you've met through Zoom calls, how tiny they look on Zoom.
Right.
And you meet them in person, they're going to be giants.
Or they're going to be much shorter than you anticipated, right? Like you think that they're really tall because you only see them from here up. But I think if it's on speaker view and it's a bigger image, you might be able to see it if it's too small.
I just
But
did that on yours, Jenny. It didn't work.
all right.
Just letting you know.
Thank you.
Good thing to know. Well, everyone, thank you for participating today. I love knowing what's happening in your part of the world. We'll see you next week. And everyone, goodbye. Check out Rockstar Connect. We have the North Carolina Mixer this week and several other events coming up. I want you to put a save your date for May 20th. North Hills Networking is going to be having their first event in a year. This is the first event in a year, so it should be a big one.
Where?
It's going to be at the Renaissance Hotel in North Hills. We are limited to 75 people. So as soon as you see that invite, you need to sign up because normally you have 200 to 400 people coming to that event. We're going to be restricted to 75 unless things open up by May. And the world.
Well, the governor just said today that bars and restaurants were 50 to 75%. Aquariums, museums, and whatever else that I put in the chat were 100%. So we'll see.
See, don't forget, usually a Rockstar Connect event, we take 250% capacity.
Yeah. I'll hopefully be one of those.
We usually violate any fire code anywhere in the country where we do events if we have a successful event. So everyone, good seeing you. Happy connecting, happy networking. We'll see you during Martini lunch next week. I'll see you on Friday, Katia.
Yes.